In a world of over 8 billion people, where no life is without challenges, some individuals have not only faced adversity but have risen above it with strength and grace.
Welcome to Rise and Reflect, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing the stories of resilient individuals who have turned their struggles into triumphs. Through their stories, we hope to ignite a spark within you.
As Nelson Mandela once said, "Do not judge me by my successes. Judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again." This series embodies that spirit.
Join us as we explore the lives of these resilient soldiers, whose paths may not have been smooth, but who have walked them with purpose and determination.
Hi everyone, so welcome to Rise and Reflect, a series that I'll be doing on my YouTube channel. So I'll essentially be featuring people who have inspired me like Othneil, and let us just dive right into it. So Othneil, who are you, where are you from?
Hi Lanika, hi viewers, my name is Othneil and I'm from St. Thomas, Jamaica, Johnstown to be specific. And I am just another Jamaican young man trying to brighten up this beautiful island.
Alright, so I have a list of questions here for Othneil to answer. So they're tailored to him specifically. So let me see. So for those of you who don't know, Othneil actually wrote a book. So what inspired you to write this book, and what message do you hope readers take away from it?
Alright, so the name of the book, Anika, is Mending Me in a Broken World. And I don't know if our viewers would have seen a previous podcast on the career, but from that I mentioned some difficulties that I navigated in life, and from it I've had to literally pick up myself, pick up the pieces. And the aim of it is to inspire some young person that there is hope to mend themselves in this broken world. Because the world is actually broken, face it. Things are going sideways in most places. But it doesn't mean we have to go sideways with it. We can still stay together.
So what kind of challenges, if you don't mind sharing?
These challenges were plenteous. I spoke about some familial ones in my previous podcast, as I am now facing some school. There are some personal challenges now that I'm going through as a result of some past experiences.
Give us one example. Give us one example of a challenge.
Of a challenge, alright.
Yes.
So I struggle with accepting certain compliments because of things I would have endured previously. I was somewhat made to believe that I don't deserve anything good in life. And so if you were to come and say you look good, I said, I don't believe it. Or anything that is geared towards making me feel good, any compliment, anything, any congratulations of any sort, I quickly tried to not only politely say, no, it's okay, but refute, like, don't believe it's for me. And that's something I struggle with today, so I don't feel I belong in many places.
It's weird that you struggle with that, because you are well put together as a young man.
Thank you.
So clearly you try a little bit to look good.
I do.
How come you can't accept the compliments? That's what's happening.
Because with my mom, who was the perpetrator in the abuse scenario that I mentioned earlier, with my mom, I was made to believe that I was a mistake. From as early as I can remember. Both my parents were married to separate partners when I was conceived, so it was an extramarital affair on both parties that got me. My mom, who was the person who won custody of me, didn't treat me equally as her other children, the three others beside myself, or individually as a person. Not even equally, but as a person, it was just outright not okay. And so the things I would hear were mainly, you are a Lammie, we are Mathers, so it's the name separation. And over time that kind of resonated with me, that I don't belong anything good because I'm a Lammie, and a Lammie doesn't belong. So when it comes on to anything else outside of that space, it still followed me, like, oh, you're a Lammie, you don't belong, you don't deserve that. So, I mean, I know it's wrong, but it's hard to not say it back to yourself sometimes, and that's something I really struggle with. So I'll, for example, at school, get an award for excellent academic performance, or get an award for anything I'm doing, and they'll say congratulations, and we'll be having small talk afterwards in a conference room somewhere. So say, I've been seeing you in the space, and I'm like, oh no, that's not. I'm literally trying to politely say, I don't think I fit the congratulations, I fit the description of whatever you're saying.
Wow. So did being an outcast kind of push you to become a high achiever?
kind of did, because it is through what I achieve I saw validation. Especially from my mom. So I'd go to school, I get an A on a test. I'd bring home the paper, and mom would say, you can go show up over, or you can go do whatever with it, right? And so I used to try very hard. I used to try very hard to please mom, and I brought it outside of the home into everyone I relate to. So I tried to overachieve in any space, not because I'm trying to show off or trying to really impress per se, but because I'm trying to give myself a reason to think I belong in this space. So if I'm in a space and I don't think I'm contributing, I'm doing anything great. If I don't think I'm making a difference in any form of way, I don't believe I belong there.
Why? Well, let us press along with the question. So, has your experience as a student leader influenced your life decisions?
It has, and I'll say how. It brought it a more considerate and compassionate side, and I know you can relate to this. You being in places where young people in your country, your parish, your community are looking up at you to lead by example. Whereas there may be one or two things you do for yourself, you have to may still do it, but with consideration of how is it going to affect those who are feeding from, who are looking at me with expectations, right? And so I don't just live for myself, but when you live as an advocate, you live as a voice. And you can't say something that someone else wouldn't say if you're advocating for them, so you have to live and literally consider them in other people. So the decisions I make as a youth leader has been, if has been.
You absolutely were supposed to be here. You're literally living in your purpose. You realize that?
I just told you what I struggle with. That's crazy.
You were not a mistake. All that you've accomplished, everything that you, I would say, the legacy that you're going to, you're just 18. It's mind-blowing to look at all that you've accomplished, literally.
And what could I say about you, Madam?
Let us continue with the questions. So, in addition to being an author, you're also a talented singer. How do music and writing complement each other in your creative expression?
The word you use that is key to me is expression. I can remember countless times when I was living with my mom. Music for me is not a thing, it's a place. It's somewhere I go to release anything or to feel anything. And so writing and music is a means of expression, and so they've aided me in that when I probably are not able to speak to someone, especially my mom or anyone, I wasn't able to confide in anyone, I would go to that musical place. I sit around the piano and I play, or I just take a piece of paper and I write. So I don't journal, I don't get up every day and write, but when I'm at a rock bottom place, when I'm at a back against the wall place, I'll find something musical or something that's written or something to write on, and I literally express myself, and every time I'm done I'm relieved. I may not be 100% better, but I am given at least one more function in another day.
Well, I mean, that's something important for us to just understand, the fact that he has found a way to let go or to kind of escape what he's going through. I want to just backtrack a little bit because you spoke about your experience, particularly with your mother,
Right.
and quite a lot of Jamaicans, we've been through it, quite a lot of people grew up in households where their mothers or their father probably spoke to them in the most insensitive way, treated them terribly, tell them all them black like them papa, all of them kind of things there, right? So how exactly, well, firstly, what is your relationship now with your mother?
Well, I've been trying to mend it. Last Mother's Day, I reached out to her and I wished her happy Mother's Day, and I was responded to with a list of bad words, as you would say in Jamaican vernacular. Stuff like that I'm now having to ignore, literally not let it pressure me. So I'm still trying to find ways indirect ways to reach out to her. None are successful at the moment, so it's a bit of a standoff. But as it relates to how I feel, I'm not opposed to relating to her anyway. The only reason I'd be skeptic now is because the last thing she said to me was suggesting that if she wouldn't see me physically, it wouldn't be good for me, as in she'd physically hurt me. So if I were to see her now, I'd probably resist, but excluding that, I'm not opposed to seeing her at all. I try to keep it tranquil.
So when last have you seen her?
I haven't seen her since probably I haven't seen her since 2024.
We are in 2024.
Yes, we are in 2024.
So when in
2023, I probably saw her in November of 2023 because I left the country in December. Since I came back to Jamaica, I haven't seen her.
Okay.
So it was probably in November of 2023 that I probably saw her.
Okay. But you don't have no bitterness towards her.
No.
So at the end of the day, people, what
I
I'm
mean-
saying is no matter what you've gone through with your parents in the past,
They're
you
still
know,
your parents.
you have to let go of that. Let go of it.
Bitterness I don't have.
And
but
why don't you have bitterness? Because you have every right to, right?
I do. But I'll tell you what I do have. I do have memories, I do have scars, I do have PTSD to some extent, and a lot of other things that are left with me from her, but I can't be bitter towards her for one main reason. She was a victim. And so she being a victim,
You gave her grace. Okay, so what has been one of the most rewarding aspects of your leadership journey?
the most rewarding aspect. Stuff like this. It's not a trophy. It's not a certificate. It's not me walking across some stage shaking someone's hand, someone over the microphone reading on my biography somewhere, and people standing and applauding. That does feel fulfilling,
Yes.
and that's happened countless times. But it's when I can know that something I did impacted someone. So stuff like this, where someone can say, "Hey, you did something, you left a mark on me, and I want to thank you for it." Personally, when someone can say, "Hey, I see you doing this, it reached me, I appreciate it." That is for me one of the biggest accomplishments I can take to go on, because anyone can get a certificate, but not everyone can have a conversation and from which someone can tell them that, "Hey, I'm watching you, you're impacting me, keep going." And when someone can say that to you, you have the determination to even quit for yourself, but go for somebody.
I kid you not, that's what
You twink, I can imagine.
it's
I can
just,
imagine.
yeah, because it's hard. It is very
It's
hard. You get
hard.
tired. Sometimes you just want to take a vacation. You just want to live a normal
And
life.
you not get it. I'm sorry, you not get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're learning more and more how to balance it
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
And
yeah.
people, just to let you know, we're actually in a hotel, so you'll be hearing a lot of noise. Escape it. I can't afford a studio, and it's just a passion project. So.
Feel free to donate. We accept cash, card.
Hey. All right. So, if you were Prime Minister, what investments would you make to impact the lives of youth in Jamaica? And this is a former youth parliamentarian, so all eyes on this answer. Oh, we have the mic.
We have the mic. We have the mic. I think you're gonna be shocked by the answer, and I do hope Mr. Holness is probably watching somewhere. Hi, sir.
It would be an honor for you to replay and repost and
Definitely,
endorse.
definitely. We should be getting a call from him after this.
Yes,
after
and
this.
I'll be honored to interview you. Absolutely honored.
Definitely.
Go ahead.
The answer is gonna be funny, and I'll say why. In a Jamaican proverb would say, "You take a donkey to the well, you can't force it to drink." If I'm being honest, the Jamaican system has plan A, plan B, plan C. Whereas youth who are falling through one crack can hang on to a lifeline somewhere else. So whereas school may not work, you have heart. Whereas heart may not work, you have someone certified place elsewhere. We have other things all over Jamaica that can provide some level of certification / education for you. What I would invest in though are two things: job creation. I know too many young people who graduate university and still are without a job. So a degree is not a guarantee to a job, and so whereas our young people might be certified or educated, it's no guarantee to an economically stable future. So I would invest in creating jobs for them, so when they get a degree, they don't have to be migrating to find a job or have to be complaining about, or study, work myself out for 4, 5, 6, 7 years, got a degree, and still I'm not able to make a living. And the second thing I'd invest is my time. When I say time, what do I mean? As a young person, I relate to many young people who may not be necessarily at a certain place in life where they want to. On the part, they keep their hand making, just pants under their waist. And when you look at them, you might think they're a bad person, but when you get to sit and reason with them, they're actually cool. But then there's like some people that know me or they not have me in mind. I can almost be certain that if they were to see the Prime Minister pull up at their gate and sit down and have a conversation.
That's a lot of time though. It's a lot of young people.
It's a lot of young people, and I mean, you may not be able to reach everybody, but I mean, if you're to even film it and let somebody like one of them see that, oh, he's doing it with one of my virgin or one of my dog, as them call it. I wouldn't do that. But with one of my virgin or one of my cheating, somebody like me, it would send a message to them like, oh, he cares.
Yeah.
My Prime Minister, he or she
I get
cares.
what you're saying, yeah.
And then that would in some way, even by the slightest percentage, inspire them to care. And so I not only inspire them with my time, but make sure that I don't only send them to go kill themselves. When they go, I need to provide a place, a job for them to exist in.
So let us talk about, because I like to break things down.
Yeah.
So let us talk about how exactly we go about the job creation aspect. So
You would love this one.
yes.
Definitely.
So how we're going about that now?
We have our ministries. Something I see being done that I've been a part of is the National Youth Parliament, which is the youth arm to the government. I think if every ministry, as much as possible, can have a youth space, a place where youth can emulate some role of an actual officer, can travel with them.
But let us not try to replicate though, because so we're talking separate and apart from the internship program, because at the ministries every summer they take on, and not only summer, because a lot of people don't know this, so there are ministries, if you want to work with a ministry, because one of the things that I want this project to do is to yes, and to highlight some. So if you want to work in a ministry, you can literally send your resume to the HR and say that you just want to be an intern, and there is compensation most times that is attached to it. If it's not full pay, them at least cover your lunch and your bus fare, but you're getting some kind of experience at least. So, you know, right away in, try to get an internship and stuff like that. They not only take interns for summer, but they take interns all year round at different divisions. So if you're able to even be specific in your email to say, okay, I want to work at the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, say that you want to work in the marketing department, or just try to be specific so they know who to direct your email to, and ask that director if they need some extra hands and whichever, and then they'll be able to provide that support. I hear it's getting a bit noisy, so we'll try to project as much as possible so that you can hear, but Othneil is going to tell us how he would go about the job creation.
Alright, so the job creation thing, I applaud the ministries for their internship programs. With that, I literally try to expand beyond the realms of an indoor ministry, of a ministry. Literally take the job to the youngster. Make them aware of more opportunities that they may not even see, because like I said, you can take a donkey to the well, but you can't force them to drink. But the truth is, sometimes the donkeys don't know that the well even exists. So we need to educate our young people of where they can go, who they can speak to, where they can visit in this technologically advanced age, and help them get the trajectory and the mobility to launch themselves into their future. So the jobs may be there, we can create more, we can expand what we already have, but we need to also not only expand, but populate, send them in there, let them know what space we can. And that's what I have to applaud.
What I'm hearing coming out is you're going to create, it's like an opportunity board in a sense where people can go for the information, and you make it a point of duty as Prime Minister to ensure that this board is populated, and
Definitely.
I think that's a brilliant idea. I think that's a brilliant, especially
A
a space for
within.
young people. Yeah. A space for young people. I'd say not even only government, but the private sector entities should be allowed to advertise, and they should make special consideration to the fact that, you know, these are young people who are applying, so they don't have 2 years work experience, they don't have 5 years work experience. You know, be realistic with what you ask for. So we are winding down, and so I want to ask you, what would be your advice to young people who want to explore multiple interests? Because you're an author, you're a musician, you're into leadership. Like, how do you balance all of that? And what would be your advice to someone who's interested in doing a lot of other things too?
I'd say pace yourself. It can get pressuring, and I don't just mean with your time. I mean, personally, something I also struggled with was, what is my calling? For myself doing doing a lot of things, and I wonder, where am I supposed to stick? What am I supposed to do? And so when you're conflicted with yourself like that, you can question where you're going to decide. So when you pace yourself, you get to observe yourself. You get to step out of your own body, watch yourself, and see where you groove best. And also, don't stretch yourself too much. When you see an open door, walk into it. You must also know when to say no. So observe yourself, pace yourself, walk into your opportunities, and try your best. Try your best to make the best of every situation. In every situation, there can be great blessings. I mean, something just happened to both of us before we got this alive.
Yes, we
And
met Sharon Burke.
We met Sharon Burke, and neither of us knew that we would have met her when coming to this hotel today. We saw the door, this random guy just walked by. Get up. You make moves. Right? So when you hold yourself back, you literally hold yourself back. Not just from the moment, but from a door that stretches miles beyond what you can see. So make the first move. Pace yourself.
Pace yourself, and that's the note that we're going to leave you with. Thank you so much for joining us, and stay tuned for more interviews.